So I often get asked, why should I not find out the customer's budget prior to showing them a vehicle? That's a great question, really, because I will say I live in a glass house, because in the old days, that's what we were taught. And we'd walk out and say, folks, just so I can land you on the right car, how much you looking to spend a month? And they'd say kind of the same thing they say now. Well, about $250, maybe $300. And in our mind, we're like, well, okay, if at about $25 per thousand you finance, that's going to get you about a $10,000 car. Let me show you what we got. And then we'd wander over, and as soon as they said, well, we're looking for more cars than that, we want something nicer, then we kind of bumped them up, and we'd ask them how much down they have, and they'd tell us 0, and now we had all the numbers. Okay, so what's the challenge with that? Well, now you sit the customer down and start negotiating, and they already told you they want to be at $300 a month, and the manager pencils you back at $782. What's that customer thinking of you? You're a jackass. You asked me how much I wanted to spend, and now you're showing me $782, and I told you $300 a month out on the lot. It's a total credibility killer, especially in today's world, man. Payment calculators are everywhere. Customers are walking on your lot. They have an idea. In the old days, all they would do is take $30,000, divide it by 72, and they thought that's what the payment should be. Never figure an interest in at all. Now, they know the information, unfortunately, better than we do sometimes. And it's a credibility killer, and I think one of the most important things you can do to make your negotiation frictionless is get great at bypassing price. And it's not just price, trade, payment, down payment. Really, it's anything you don't want to talk about until later. It's really, bypassing is just buying time. I call it the 3 R's to bypassing. Respond, reassure, redirect. That's all it is, but it's, understand this, when they're sitting at their house, okay, they're coming up with a budget before they show up at our dealership. They're sitting around thinking, okay, we're paying $350 a month right now. What are we willing to pay? What are these things advertised for? Well, I guess we could go up to probably $450 if we found the right car, maybe $500 if we stretch, but that's kind of pushing it, but we want to be around that $500. Okay, well, how much down do you think we're going to have? If we have to, we'll do a couple grand down, but let's try to get away with 0 down. Well, what are you hoping to get for the car? Well, I saw another one online and booked ours out. It's probably worth about $13,000. So now they have all these numbers in their head. They have what they would love to get away with and the most they would do if they had to. Best case scenario. So now we walk out. And I understand we're doing it innocently. We're not doing it to piss off a customer. We're not doing it to kill the integrity, but we walk out and say, hey, so I could show you the right car. What's your budget? How much were you all looking to spend a month? Some sort of a question like that. Well, what do you think the customer's going to tell you? Well, they're going to tell you the lowest number. Well, we were hoping to get something around $300 a month. That's what our current payment is. What are you thinking when they say that? You're thinking, well, how much down are you guys going to be putting? What are they going to tell you? Well, we're not going to put anything down. So now we get 0 down, $300 a month. They're looking at a $45,000 car. What's going through your head? Man, must be snowing up north. The flakes are blowing in today. You're thinking it's a full moon because all the crazies are coming on your lot because the math doesn't work out. But here's what I do know. That customer, would they be willing to pay more if they like the car? Of course they would. Would they be willing to put more money down potentially? Yeah, we've all had that customer says, that's all I'm paying, I'm not paying any more. And then they walked out of your F&I office paying $126 a month more. There's always more money there, but it's about keeping the integrity of the sales process. I'm not bringing those payments up because when I sit down and negotiate, look, my whole goal on that first pencil, when I present numbers to that customer, my job is to present them the best way to get their new vehicle. Okay, my job's not to present necessarily their way up front. It's to present the best way and then figure out how to fit it in their budget. So now when I come out and say, hey guys, congratulations, car's still available. Let me show you the best way to get it. For our car with your trade and the fees, and we're going to be paying your car off in full. And with your initial investment of $8,200, it's going to put your monthly investment $786. Give me your okay right here and we'll wrap it up. Now when they look at you and say, we don't have $8,200 down. No big deal. It's not a requirement, just better deal for you. Look, the more you put down, the less you finance, the more you save in interest, the more flexibility you'll have, so you can trade out of it when you want to, not when the bank says you can. Keeping that in mind, how close to $8,200 you're thinking? Maybe $6,500? Hell no, we got maybe $2,500. Well, if you had to stretch, maybe $3,000 if we really stretch. But for the car you really love, nope, $3,000, that's all we got. Okay, well, now keep in mind, less you put down, what's going to happen to your payment? It's probably going to go up. Yeah, it'll probably put you about $900. Will that work? So now as I'm walking that customer through these numbers, what numbers am I pulling out? Now on the first pencil, I'm pulling out that customer's top number on payment, their top number on down payment. So now when I come back to negotiate on the second pass, I'm working top numbers up. If you are asking customers how much you want to spend a month, how much down you have, they give you the lowest payment, lowest down payment, and you're negotiating from the bottom numbers up instead of the top numbers up. It's going to take you 2 or 3 back and forths just to even get to their top number. That's why it's so critical to stay off price so you can, when you sit down and start the negotiation, you get to negotiate from the customer's top numbers up. And that's probably the number one secret to keeping your negotiation frictionless. Because if you can't bypass and you find out the price numbers up front, all you're doing is adding friction to the negotiation.